All right, so our last movie is the theater release of Contagion. That one's directed by Steven Soderbergh. A movie about a virus. It stars quite a few people. It's got Kate Winslet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, Laurence Fishburne. But it starts out with Gwyneth Paltrow is coming home from vacation and she's feeling a little ill. She gets home to her husband and child, who's Matt Damon, and while she's going through this plot line, 6 other plots are going on of all these other people sick around the world. And it's just kind of this bounce back and forth of who's getting more sick for about a half hour.
Yeah.
And then it just starts getting to the escalation, the hinting of, showing people touching things, and a lot of zoom in moments of like, look how many things people touch
every day without even realizing it.
I'm a little afraid to do anything after this movie, but it escalates and it gets to, it jumps to Kate Winslet, who's the new guy on the CDC, Center for Disease Control.
Yeah.
And Laurence Fishburne's her mentor, and he's sending her out to Minneapolis where Gwyneth Paltrow was, and all this virus is kind of starting up, and it's just kind of bouncing between these big government places and the small guy who is having to deal with the choices the government's making over this. And it's people start to get sick, people start to die. It gets crazy. It shows, one of those. This is how crappy humanity gets when crap hits the fan. Humanity sucks. That's kind of what this kind of movie wants to tell you.
Yeah.
It's got Jude Law in it as this reporter guy who's just blogger who knows the truth, and at some point in time,
kind of a muckraker. He wants to throw the truth in everyone's face, and you have a hard time believing whether or not what he's saying is actual truth, or if he's just trying to get more hits on his website.
Just kind of, just one of those claiming things just to get the notoriety.
Yeah.
But Matt Damon, is a caring father whose daughter is not sick, whereas the rest of his family is, and so he's trying to be a good father and take care of people during this horrible moments, and rioters try to kill everybody and stuff. Most part, I enjoyed the movie. It was way different than I thought. I mean, I went to this, with the ideas of Outbreak and 28 Days Later,
Yeah.
When the virus hits, it's crazy bad.
Yeah.
This is a great film that just shows what more realistic of slowly going up, and you get to see the bureaucracy side, which is kind of cool, and try to fight with it, and have to deal with all the pharmaceutical companies. So there's a lot to this movie that I liked.
Yeah, a lot of different aspects.
Yeah. So it was a virus movie, but not the crazy everybody turns to a zombie or everybody just flat out goes crazy and we have to drop an A-bomb on it to end it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more intense and I don't know, more thoughtful, I guess. So I really enjoyed it. I would definitely give this one a B+.
Cool. Where did I give it? I give it a B-, and I'll say first most and foremost, Steven Soderbergh is a brilliant director. He does a lot of his own cinematography. He always does it by a pseudonym. But he's a wonderful filmmaker, and he's immensely talented, and you can see the talent in anything he does. Where he lacks a little bit is as a storyteller. And I think the problem for me with Contagion is that it is wide-reaching, and it wants to tell a lot of different aspects of this one event, this world pandemic. And so you have the bureaucratic angle, you have the PR, like how are we going to sell this to the people so that they're not afraid, and then you have the people that are watching this thing. You have the Matt Damon character who, he's struggling with the loss of some of his family members, as well as some of these crazy revelations of said family members. And that's supposed to be sort of the human element to bring us in. And then you have the Jude Law character who's sort of, I have the truth. Are you getting the truth? What is the truth? And all of this stuff. So I think the problem with the movie is that it's a little too wide and not deep enough. I would have liked to have got to know some of these characters a little bit better. There's a character played by Marion, who's another government official, scientist, doctor, who's working on this cure, and she kind of gets kidnapped in Beijing or something like that. Until the end. And that's a plot that I feel is really underdeveloped, if not completely unnecessary. I think you could have scooped that plot out altogether. The movie would have survived just fine. And there's a few places where I feel like that. This movie's very star-studded, and Soderbergh's also a very good actor's director. He can get the performances he wants. And Matt Damon is very good in this movie. And you do get a little bit of that human element with him and his character and his daughter. But I feel like the movie is just, it's overreaching. It's trying to tell too many things at once. And because of that, the intensity that you want to feel throughout the movie, I always feel a little detached and a little cold towards what he's giving me. So, there's kind of a slow build all the way up to a certain climax, and instead of things, going crazy or whatever, it just slowly comes back down.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part about it.
And the movie sort of ends, and you're left with,
Yep.
Okay, I guess.
I guess we're done.
And I wanted to feel a little bit more from it than that. I think, like I said, it's really well made. I'd say it's definitely worth seeing. And it sort of reminded me a little bit of sort of the B-movie cousin to Traffic. And I have a lot of the same problems with Traffic, too, in the same regard. It's a little too wide, not enough deep. So I like the movie okay, and I always am there to see what Soderbergh does as a director, because I do think he's immensely talented. But I feel like I wanted a stronger emotional connection to the movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our show today. We reviewed Prom, Hannah, everything.